Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is super exciting and I'm so happy I was able to get my hands on it when it first got released into stores. But we will be doing a swatches of the new Lorac Mega Pro Palette 3. I picked this up from Ulta on, I think, October 2nd. So I purchased it yesterday. Today is the 3rd when I'm filming this. But I was so happy to find this, and I think the last one, I had somebody hold it for me. I called when Ulta first opened. I had one of the people there working hold one for me. When I got there, they were completely sold out of all of them, and I'm so happy I got my hands on it. I mean, it is a great palette. I swatched, I think, about 5 or 6 of the shadows in stores just to see if I really wanted it, if I really would put use to it. And of course, I bought it because the colors are so amazing. I mean, if you haven't seen pictures of it yet, you definitely need to go check them out. But we will do swatches and I'll be talking about all the shades and everything. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into the video. So the box that you get it in does look like this. I mean, it's cute packaging, but for a $59 palette, basically $60. I figured that'd be a little nicer, but it is packaging, like I said. You get no free samples or anything with it like you normally do with the normal Lorac Pro palettes, like the free, it gets their eyeshadow primer. You don't get anything like that. But it's in this really pretty like gold, rose gold packaging. It reminds me of like some like old Hollywood vibes. Makes me think of the last American Horror Story season, like that old Hollywood hotel. That's what it makes me think of. But it's so pretty, and we're just going to jump into the box and see what's inside. So after opening the box, this is what the palette looks like. It is white with rose gold lettering. It says Lorac Los Angeles, and then it says Pro Mega. This white will get ruined, and it's kind of like a softer material. So, I mean, you get eyeshadow on it or something, the sucker's like it's done with. But when you do open it, it is like, I mean, angels are singing above. You get the little screen protector thingy that goes over these shadows. And then here are all of the wonderful matte and shimmer eyeshadows. I mean, these are just absolutely gorgeous, and you do get a ginormous mirror right up here. So here is a more in-depth look at all of these shadows. I believe there are 36 shadows in here, or 32. And they range from all shimmers to mattes, and there are lots of browns, and you have cooler tones, warmer tones. You have this really pretty pop of red right here that I love. It's just a really great palette that you can create so many looks with. So if you've never owned a Lorac eyeshadow palette before or anything, the pigmentation and the quality of the shadows is really unlike any other palette. They're different from Urban Decay, different from Too Faced. The Lorac shadows are very almost buttery consistency. They're really silky, really smooth. And if you just go to Ulta one day, if you're in there browsing or whatever, just swatch one of the palettes, because when you put your finger into it, it's almost like you're rubbing on like butter or silk sheets, just something. It's so different than a normal eyeshadow that's a lot maybe more drier, or it can be a little chalky. They're so buttery but so pigmented, and they're not powdery or anything. They're just such good quality shadows. This is my first Mega Pro palette, because the past two, I guess, of the Mega Pro 1 and 2, I wasn't into makeup like I am at the time, so I really did not know anything about it. I didn't even know it existed. But I'm very glad I got the 3rd one, because this is going to be bomb. So let's just start swatching all of the shades. So the first one that we are going to start off with is the lightest shade, and it is called Pink Cream. This is basically kind of like my skin tone color, but a lot pinkier. And it's perfect for kind of setting your eyeshadow primer. That way you have a better blending transition. So hopefully you can see Pink Cream show up. And you can kind of see it. Like I said, it's more like my skin tone. It's just a little bit pinkier. The next shade in the palette that we're going to go into is called Tan. And this shade's a lot more perfect for that kind of crease color. It's the second one right here. It's a little deeper than the Pink Cream one, but it's perfect for a transition shade. So there it is right there, Tan. As you can probably tell, it's just like a shade darker than Pink Cream. The next one to go into is Pecan, and it is the 3rd one right here. This is a kind of just a smidge darker than Tan. So that right there is Pecan. Like I said, it's just a shade darker than tan. So it's another great transition color if you have deeper skin tones. Next shade is Walnut, and this shade is a lot darker than the past 2 or 3 shades. It would definitely do like an outer V color because it is a lot darker than the other ones. And again, these last shades are all matte also. The next shade we have right here is more purpley and pinky. It is called Dusty Mauve. It is like that rosy pinky purple color. I mean, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. I absolutely love it. I love all these shades, and this one is also matte. The next shade we have right here is called Violet Gray, and this is kind of like a shade darker than Dusty Mauve. It has more purple and almost kind of gray tones in it, but it's still more into that rosy pink category. The next shade we have right here is called Eggplant, and this is a lot deeper than the past 2 shades. This is a lot more purple and a lot more darker and deeper. So you could use this on the lid or the outer V or just really anywhere, but it does still fit in with that kind of more mauve-y purple pinky tone of things. The next shade we have is called DK Navy, and this is a navy blue. It has hints of gray into it, so it's not completely like a navy blue in my opinion, but it is a lot more darker than all the rest. And this is the first row of shadows. They are all completely matte also. Again, like I said in the beginning, they are so buttery, so pigmented. I mean, they're so rich. This is just one swipe and you can tell the pigmentation already. So now starting on the second row of things, it looks like the first and second row are all matte and the third and fourth are all shimmer. So the first shade from the second row we'll be going is, I think it's called Crepe. I don't know, I'm not too sure. But again, it is so close to my skin tone. I don't even think you'll be able to see that right there. But it is just another one of those skin tone colors. It's a lot lighter than Pink Cream. It doesn't have any pinky in it. Actually, it has more of a yellow undertone in it. But I mean, it's just like my skin, so you can't really see it that well. Next one we have right here is called Toffee. And this is that perfect kind of orangey transition shade, or not even really a transition shade. You could just use it as a color in your crease, but it is that perfect kind of orangey color that everyone loves. It is just a kind of more staple color. The next shade we have right here is called Mist, and this is like a grayish white color. It's not completely white, but it's not gray. It's kind of more in the middle. It's really pretty. I think this would be good all over the lid if you're doing real dramatic and you wanted something to kind of balance it out. It is a really pretty shade. Next shade we have right here is called Vintage, and this is kind of like a grayish brown shade. Again, completely matte. And this is just another color you could deepen up your outer V with, but it is a really pretty brown and gray shade. I haven't seen a shade like this. I don't really have one in my collection like this, so it's kind of original. The next shade we have right here is called Hickory, and my swatches just got all type of jinx, but this is called Hickory. It's kind of like a browny purpley shade. It has a hint of purple in it. You can tell that if I look into the pan. I'm sure through this video I'll have a picture of the palette like kind of inserted somewhere. That way you can see all the shades. But this is kind of like a brownish purple shade. It's really pretty and really different. The next shade that we have right here is called Maple, and this is a true reddish brown shade. It kind of goes with the name Maple, reminds me of maple syrup, but definitely a reddish brown shade. And again, it's perfect for fall since fall is here basically. We are in October. The next shade we have right here is called Bark, and it reminds me of Hickory a lot, but it's kind of more purpley, more kind of, I don't know. I'm horrible at describing eyeshadow names. But again, it's more purpley with kind of a hint of brown. And the last shade right here in the second row of mattes is called Jet Black, and it is what the name is. It is a completely matte, thick black color. I mean, that is an opaque black, and it's definitely going to show up even better on your eye. So we already did the first 2 rows of mattes. Now we're going to move on to the third and fourth row of all shimmers. So the first shimmer shade we're going to go in with is called Snow. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on my skin because I am so pale, but hopefully you will. Oh yeah, you can. That is so opaque. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is exciting. This is perfect for a highlight kind of more inner corner shade, and if you're brave enough, underneath your brow bone. But that is gorgeous. That is a white shade with shimmer. and it's so opaque. One thing I like about the Lorac shimmer shadows is how there's not chunks of glitter in it. It's so finely milled and there's no like actual glitter you can tell. It's just such a pretty shine to it. And the next shade we have right here is called Cava, I think, C-A-V-A, and it reminds me a lot of the Becca Champagne Pop Highlighter. It is that perfect kind of champagne, peachy, golden kind of shade. It is such a staple. Again, just one of those shades that's perfect for fall. The next shade we have right here is called Cider. It is a lot more of a coppery gold shade, super pigmented, super opaque, and I mean, that is just a gorgeous shade. Like, that is so freaking pretty. The next shade we have right here is called Bellini. It's kind of a lot like Cava, except Bellini has a lot more peachy tone to it, and Cava is a lot more of a kind of champagne golden color. But Bellini is still really pretty because it does have that peach undertone. The next one that we have right here is called Brown Sugar. If you can't tell, that is one swipe and that is insanely pigmented. But it's just a really pretty brown shimmery shade. I mean, it's brown sugar, that's literally what it's called, but it is so pretty, and I think that would be gorgeous all over the lid paired with some of those kind of more mauve-y orange tones that we had in the first two rows that were completely matte. So the next shade we have right here is called Sequoia, I believe, and this is a tad bit more purpley tone than Brown Sugar was, but again, really great color, really great for fall. The next shade we have right here is called Glacier, and this is kind of like an icy white grayish blue shade. It looks gray, but in certain lights it kind of has reflects of blue. Reminds me of a duochrome shadow kind of, but it's a really pretty shade. It's really unique. And the last shade we have right here is called Deep Fog. It is a very deep kind of charcoaly gray shade. It's really deep, really pretty. I don't have a shade like this in my collection, I believe, just like this Glacier shade. So again, really unique. So this is the third row of shimmers. So now we're going to move on to the fourth and last row of shimmers. So the first shade right here is called Tulle. And again, it's like my skin tone, except it's pinky and a lot more shimmery. Really pretty shade though. Again, it would be really pretty all over the lid if you're going with some of those more dusty rosy colors for like a romantic look. This next shade right here is called Pinky Bronze. So it's like the bronze shade from the last row, except it's more kind of pinky and peachy, but it still has that golden tone to it. The next shade we have right here is called Rust, and this is a rusty copper color. I mean, that is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, that is so freaking pretty. I cannot wait to use that for the fall looks I'm thinking about doing, but that is such an original kind of coppery shade. So this shade right here probably has to be my favorite shimmery shade of the whole palette. This is called Rose Quartz, and it is exactly what it says. It is a rosy kind of hints of bronze to it, and it's a shimmer shade. It is gorgeous. It would be perfect paired with those dusty mauve pink colors. This next shade right here is called Olive, and it is kind of like that baby puke kind of green shade, but in shimmer form, as gross as that sounds. But it is a really pretty kind of green shade. It almost, if you can look right in the middle, I'm looking at my mirror as I'm looking at this, but it kind of has like a hint of orange maybe to it, but it's really pretty. The next shade we have right here is called DK Rose, and this is kind of like an olivey shade, but it has kind of a purple brown tone to it. Again, I'm looking in the mirror as I'm looking at the camera, but it kind of has like the browny purple tones, as I was saying. Really pretty, really cute. Again, I don't really think I have anything like this, so it's more of an original shade to me. So besides that Rose Quartz shade, this is probably my second favorite shade. This is actually called Pomegranate, and it is the brightest, most different shade out of this whole entire palette because it is a red. I mean, it is a shimmer red, which is kind of cool because it's a red but with a kind of orangey undertone. Really pretty, and I think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it for fall. And the last and final shade in this palette is right here. This is called Licorice. It is black with kind of shimmers of purple in it, which I think is super cool. Again, it reminds you of a duochrome like a lot of the shadows do. So that is all of the shades in this palette. Again, this palette is beyond gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I will link it down below with Ulta's website and all that so you can try to find it. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos and everything. Leave some comments down below what you think of the shadows in the palette, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.